Welcome back to Adventures of a Black Belt Sommelier. I have more than occasionally said in these podcasts that sometimes it's great to be the sommelier. And last night was one of the times when it is really great to be the sommelier. I've tasted this wine a few times, half dozen times, and it is just always a privilege and a blessing to taste this truly, truly magical, extraordinary, mind-boggling, incredible wine. 2001 Chateau de Cam. I've tasted most of the great vintages of Chateau de Cam over the years. I've tasted the 1900, the 1931, the 1967, the 2009. Um, those are all great. This is the equal of all of those. It, you know, I try not to talk about ratings in these episodes, but I did look, and this wine has received basically 100 points or 100 plus points from everyone, including Robert Parker when he was still reviewing wines for the Wine Advocate. It is I'm rarely at a loss for words for talking about wine, but this wine is so mind-boggling. It is so incredible. You could argue that Chateau de Cam is the most extraordinary wine in the world because if you say what is the greatest Cabernet Sauvignon based wine in the world, there are a lot of possibilities. If you say what is the greatest Pinot Noir in the world, there are a lot of possibilities. If you say what is the greatest Chardonnay in the world, there are a lot of possibilities. But if you say what is the greatest sweet wine in the world, there is no challenger to Chateau de Cam. Also, in the 1855 Bordeaux classification, when Latour, Lafite, Margaux, and Aubryon were named as first growths, Yquem was named a first great growth, so above those wines. So it has been this incredible thing for all these years since 1855, at least since 1855. And having tasted so many vintages of Chateau, been lucky enough to have tasted or just drunk or enjoyed so many vintages of Chateau de Cam. This one is the equal of any that I've tasted. It is incredibly viscous. I've never actually tasted motor oil, but I think it is what I think motor oil would taste like if you tasted it, not obviously in terms of flavor, but in terms of depth and weight and intensity and richness. It is so rich, so powerful, so concentrated, so deep on the palate. It seems like it weighs a lot. Um, it's incredibly rich. It's beautifully balanced. There's so much intense acidity to balance the sweetness. This caramelized peach and apricot character, the just flowers out your ears. Marzipan, tea, black tea, white flowers, paper whites, this incredible richness, this incredibly long finish. Um, Pretty much every critic whose opinion of this wine I read said that it would drink well into the past 2100, so a 100-year wine. I think if stored well, there's no limit. I think it will age forever. I can't imagine it ever not being extraordinary because it has everything you need for a wine to age ad infinitum. Just this incredible elixir, this incredibly rich, profound, deep, hugely concentrated wine. It may have the longest finish of any wine I've ever tasted. Certainly one of them. It's expensive, but if you can afford it, this is a wine that there is nothing like it. There just is nothing like it. Um, I'd put it again, I'd put it up against the 1900, the 31, the 67, the 2009, and the 2001 as the great vintages of Chateau de Cam that I have tasted in my life. Am I leaving any of those out? I don't think so. Those are the great ones. And this one is the equal of any of them, and perhaps the greatest of all of them. If you can afford it and you can find it, this wine needs to be in your cellar. I served it last night with creme brulee. I think it was incredible with creme brulee. But just a grilled peach or a grilled apricot, or maybe a grilled peach or apricot with a little mascarpone in it. Holy cow, something simple like that with this wine. Holy cow. It is one of those wines that if you're lucky enough to have tasted it, you'll never forget it. Never forget it. 2001 Chateau de Cam. As I said, sometimes it's lucky to be the sommelier. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Drink something great tonight. Drink something great tonight.